All the folk with Democracy North Carolina, raise your hand. All the people with HK on J have marched, raise your hand. All the NAACPers, raise your hand. The reality is that when we stick together, we win together. Curtis, come on close. All of the folk, come on, Sylvia and others. I come here today, Bob, I see you in the back. April 13th, today, 1963. Dr. King was in a Birmingham jail trying to push this nation forward. The radical Republicans in this legislature are trying to take us backwards. A few weeks ago, I stood at the Edmonds-Pettus Bridge. I went to the church where on March 21st, 8,000 people gathered at Brown Chapel in Selma. Black, white, Asian, Latino, reverends from the Christian faith, rabbis from the Jewish faith, a Catholic nun. They all gathered in Selma to march to Montgomery on March 21st, 1965, 46 years ago. Harry Belafonte, Tony Bennett, Frankie Lane, Peter, Paul, and Mary, Sammy Davis Jr., Nita Simone, they all came. Jimmy Lee Jackson died. Reverend Reeb died, was killed. Viola Luizzo, a white woman, was killed because they were trying to push this nation forward, and they were calling for the Voting Rights Act. Here we are today, 46 years later, and this legislature, this radical extreme right wing, is trying to take us backwards. 46 years ago this summer, the Voting Rights Act was passed, echoing the language of the 15th Amendment, saying that nothing can be done that will deny or abridge the right of any citizen of these United States and their right to vote. 46 years ago, people were trying to push this nation forward. Here we are today, and these extreme right-wingers want to take us backwards. Let's call it like it is. There is a radical, regressive, extreme, ultra-right, art-pope-backed political agenda that has taken over the North Carolina Republican Party. These are not the Republicans of 140 years ago, and they can't claim that legacy, and we won't allow it. 140 years ago, Republicans were joining with blacks in something called fusion politics. They were rewriting the Constitution. They were opening up voting rights. They were including civil rights protections in the Constitution. These are not the Lincoln Republicans of 140 years ago. This is a radical, extreme right-wing group. The Republican parties of years ago, from 1860 through 1969, some of them tried to heal the divisions of slavery and Jim Crow and bring people together. Part of this regressive agenda of this group is not only are they wrong on the budget and want to cut it on the backs of the poor, not only are they undercutting education, undercutting health care, but part of their regressive agenda is voter ID, which will have a disparate impact on the old, the poor, African Americans, Latinos, and rural communities. And it's only 3 words for it. This is wrong. It takes us backwards and not forward. Call it like it is. The voter ID law is nothing but nuanced Jim Crow. Call it like it is. It's nothing but voter suppression in the 21st century. Call it like it is. We believe it's a violation of the 15th Amendment that says you cannot deny or abridge my right to vote. Abridge means to suppress. Abridge means to hold down. Abridge means to prevent. This effort is an attempt to abridge our right to vote. Abridge means to reduce. Abridge means to cut short. Abridge means to diminish. Voter ID laws reduce, cut short, and diminish our right to vote. What we need is what we have. Signature attestation. That's all we need. Call out your address, sign your signature. It's already a felony if you lie about that. It's wrong. They know it's wrong. North Carolina became a part of the United States in 1789. Say 1789. 1789. Since then, there has been a gradual expansion of who could vote. First, only white male landowners could vote. No women could vote. No poor white men could vote. No black woman could vote. Native Americans couldn't vote. Young white male landowners under 21 couldn't vote. But never in all of this history have those who were denied called for voter ID. Call it like it is. When the KKK was stuffing ballot boxes, we didn't call for voter ID. We just wanted voter rights. Call it like it is. When the red shirts were doing all kinds of tricks in North Carolina politics and denying African Americans the right to hold of it, we didn't call for voter ID. We just wanted voter rights. When blacks and other minorities were pushed back, we never called for voter ID. We just wanted voter rights. So now, let's call it like it is. Now, when we have more diversity than ever, when we have more opportunity than ever, now you want voter ID? All the years of suppression, we never called for voter ID? Now that folk can come to the ballot, you want voter ID? This group is fearful of the growing tide of diversity. This ultra right-wing, extreme, regressive politics of yesterday, got to call them all their names. Can't call them Republican, I got to call them their names. They are bound and determined to restore the politics of division and fear. They want to deny and abridge our hard-won voting rights with a thinly disguised racist trick. And yes, racism is not just when you call somebody the N-word. Racism is when you implement policies that you know will have a disparate impact on a certain group of people. Somebody shout, call it like it is. This voter ID law is racist, it's wrong, it's regressive, and its implementation will constitute a political form of racism or classism. And we come here today and we're carrying the message across North Carolina, we will not take one step back. We will fight them on this bill now, and God knows in heaven, November 2012, we're going to fight for real. We call on our friends in the General Assembly to fight it. If you're a progressive legislator, fight it. You're a Republican with a conscience and knows history, fight it. Fight it, fight it, fight it. We call on our lawyers to challenge it. Challenge it, challenge it, challenge it. We call on our governor to veto it. Veto it, veto it, veto it. And we call on our members, all of us, NAACP, HKLJ, Democracy, unions, Progressive Coalition, all of us need to send out an action call like we're doing today. Flood the Speaker's office with calls saying no vote to voter ID. Flood the Senate Pro Tem with calls saying no to voter ID. Flood them with calls because this is the wrong time to go backwards. Yesterday, the cannons fired at Fort Sumner because some people are so stuck in the past that they want to celebrate the succession of the South from the Union. All over this country, celebrations were had yesterday, when in fact this is Lent. We ought to be having mourning service. We ought to be repenting of the past rather than going back to the past. And so it is our time to stand up. Too many people died. Too many people cried. Too many people lost their lives. Too many people were hurt. Too many people were maimed. Too many people never lived to see the rights we enjoy today. And for God in heaven's sake, we cannot go backwards. Forward together, not one step back.